That's what we'll be talking about today. Let's go. The guys at Zhiyun reached out to me with this M20C portable small LED light, and it comes in a pouch like this, and well, it looks like this. Now this is with all accessories, and the light itself looks, well, actually it looks like this. So this teeny tiny LED light is, well, it has everything. You have the full RGB color spectrum. You can control all the different nuances of light, also the temperature going all the way from really cold to really warm. It has a battery that lasts for about 45 minutes-ish, and it has an internal fan, so it's not going to overheat. Now the fill light combo bundle comes with a cage where you can put this light in. It locks in. You have a magnet right here at the back. You have 3 cold shoe attachments and one, well, cold shoe to mount onto your camera or to anything that has a cold shoe mount. On the bottom you have that 3/4 of an inch for mounting standard tripod accessories. And the beauty of this is also that you can remote control it with an app on your smartphone. But first, let me show you how bright this thing is. So double tap to power it on, short and a long tap, and then, well, 50%, 100%. Now this is as bright as it gets. Now I'm manually exposing, so I'm way overexposed right now, but there is no way you can actually look into this light. You get the Fatima effect. If you guys don't know what that is, it was a miracle that happened in Portugal, Fatima, Portugal, a long time ago, where people were staring at the sun for a long time and then they saw the sun everywhere. This has the same effect. I mean, it is like a miracle in a hand, you know, but I can fine control this. This is 1%, and I can switch down and I can change the temperature. So this is now going to go all the way to what is 10,000 Kelvin. Actually, it's cool. And if I want to go into the warm side, I can set this to 2,500 Kelvin. So it's inverse. So I would have to set 2,500 Kelvin on my camera to kind of make this look white. So it's inverted, which is typical for lights where you can control the hue or the temperature. Now, furthermore, we have another setting where I can control the brightness and I can control the hue. So literally I'm going all the way 360 degrees. You can see how the light is changing. I mean, it's really, really bright. So all the way, you know, all the way from red to orange to yellow, and I can even press this and I get those like 60-degree intervals or 120-degree intervals. So like blue, red, green, another blue, and another red, and another green. So, you know, 120-degree intervals, and I can control the saturation. So I can make it less saturated or more saturated. I mean, you guys probably don't see, you know, the saturation because it's really, really bright. Let me dim it down just a tiny bit. So full saturation, 0 saturation. And again, if I tap in 50% saturation, 100% saturation, which is really amazing. Now, if I press on the mode button again, I can really control each individual color. 100% of the red, and I can add maybe just like a 50% of the green, and I can add 50% of the blue. I'm changing the colors with, you know, red, green, and blue channel 0 to 100%, which is also amazing. And then another mode is, well, you know, the standard police car mode or the disco mode, and like the fireworks mode, which, you know, works like this. And then you have the hue flash, hue loop. I can change the brightness of each and every one. I can change the speed, and I can change, you know, the color, you know, what colors are being displayed. And then there's another mode. It reacts to sound, so you can have your own like studio music. And you can control how many colors, how many different hues you have in this whole flashy thing. You can have just the one color or all of the colors. And then of course you can set the language. I have it in English. And then you come back to the normal mode with 5,600 Kelvin and 1% power. Oh, this is really bright. So these are the basic functions that this light has. but I did get the fill combo, so the light fill combo, where you get 3 additional accessories. Now the first one is just a simple white diffuser. Now if you look into the light, you can, I don't know if you guys can tell, but you can see the LEDs. I mean, oh my god, this is so bright that I can hardly show you. But you can, if I look at this, I can see individual LEDs. Now there is a diffuser in front, but it's not as strong as, well, an additional diffuser. If I put this on now I don't see the LEDs. I mean, I can hardly see them. And the biggest difference is, well, if I don't have the diffuser and if I point somewhere and I have a shadow, I see multiple shadows, especially for those close-up shots, like with macro photography. So in that case, I plug on this diffuser, which attaches magnetically, and well, I get a nice smooth light. Instead of every LED putting out their own shadow, I get a nice smooth shadow all the way. Now additionally to this, you get a honeycomb. I can put this on the diffuser, or I can, have this like individually, so I can attach each individual attachment individually. But what this does, it prevents light spill. So I have my light turned on right now, so if I take this off, you can see how much light is spilling. But if I put this on, now only the light going forward is being displayed, so I'm preventing light spill from filling up the room. This is really cool. I even have this on my big light over here, so that I'm lighting this and not the whole room. Nice! And then the third attachment that I have is this. No, it's not a light cap, it's actually, yeah, so like the typical light shaper. Different to this because this only really projects the light forward, but here I can control how much light spill I want in every direction. So I can really shape the light with this. Now, just like this, or maybe just bounce it off everything. So this I find to be one of the more useful attachments. And well, all combined together, you have a full suite of how you can control a small LED light like this. Now let's do some practical examples. First, I'm gonna show you how I use this, well, in macro photography, because I think this is strong enough to actually replace my on-camera speed light. Ooh, let's go. Okay, for the next example, we came out here into the park. I'm gonna show you a few scenarios where you can use the LED panel outside. Look. Oh yeah. Did it! I do a lot of macro photos, and I'm going to switch my flash on-camera speed light with this and see how it works using a friction arm. So let's just mount this guy up here. Like this, right in front of the lens. I want to tighten this up nice, and now I have a light pointing straight down to the subject. Let's try it out. Now let's start off first without the LED light and just use the natural light. And I'm going to photograph the bun of this flower, which is right over here. I'm gonna have to crank up the ISO all the way to, I think, like 3200. Shooting f/16, 1/200th of a second. Okay, now let's use the light. I'm gonna go with ISO 800 this time around. Oh, this is definitely cool. I can even switch it down to like ISO 500. And yeah, perfect exposure. So here's a comparison. So with a very simple setup like this, you can get some really cool macro photography done, and you can use a faster shutter speed. I mean, I shot with 1/200th of a second, just like I would with an on-camera speed light. No, but the limitation with the speed light is, for instance, if I'm shooting with f/16, I'm cutting out a lot of the light. So my on-camera speed light needs to put out a lot of light, bounced off a diffuser, and then light the subject. The problem is that if I want to do burst shots, if I want to get 15 or 20 photographs in succession, the speed light is not strong enough to give me lighting for each and every frame. But with this, since it's always on and it's really powerful, that's not an issue. So my new macro photography gear. Now, what about this scenario? No light? 50%? Oh, 100%. Now I can place this on my camera. Okay, so now I can make a video in the dark. Literally, because you know the background is bright, but I am standing under a tree. So technically, you know, without the light, this would be this much dark. And then if I turn this on, 50%? I think this is actually good. So about 50%. And I can always adjust this. I can even adjust the tint and everything, so a little bit darker. Now this would be a cool lighting scenario if you ever need light in a dark situation. Is this light really bright? Yeah, it's like really bright, ridiculously bright. So if I turn it off, now it's a nice natural light, but just like 50% or maybe even less. Let's go with, let's say, about like 20%. Yeah, 20%, and I can easily film Alex over here standing in the dark. Woo! This was my review of the Zhiyun M20C portable small LED light with all of the attachments. If you guys have any comments or questions, please leave that down below in the comment section. Also consider subscribing to the channel if you're new and hit the like button for the algorithm. It really helps. And if you want to watch last week's video, click on this one over here. You know, nicely lit up with the backside blue. Oh yeah, bye bye.